Welcome back to the Push Podcast. I'm your host, Lost Judah, and today we have a very special guest here on with us, my man Andy.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, man. We happy to have you here on the show. And without further ado, we're just gonna hop right into it, man. So, Andy, tell us about you.
You know, that's a very difficult question to answer because over different part of my life, the answer changed here and there.
Okay.
The more formal interview sort of type of answer would be, my name is Andy. I was born and raised in Hong Kong, China.
Wow.
And I came to the US around the age of 10, almost towards 11. And then I grew up here in middle school, high school, and then did my university here in America. Went to undergrad at BU, Boston University.
Okay.
And then went to my grad school at Harvard, both studying majority business. And I've done so many different things in my life. And from jobs, from sales, there's a lot of different career that I didn't even imagine was possible. And
Right.
I get to travel around the world, just so blessed and fortunate to be able to experience all those.
Right.
But if you ask me today who I am, I like to introduce myself more as a loving son, someone who's trying to do better in this world rather than following the idea of just labels and labels and labels.
Right.
I believe more that I'm a spirit, I'm a soul that came to this world, and I want to have the most enjoyable time here and have influence as much people as possible and make the world a better place, just little by little. So that's what I want to introduce myself as. That's who I feel, without names, without titles. If you strip everything away, who exactly is I am? That is a question that I'm constantly thinking about, who I am. So I like that question. I'm going to get this down better, but that is a question that every time I ask, it comes different.
Right. No, absolutely, man. And
What do you think about that? Like when people ask, who are you? Do you normally go with your titles, like your name, what you do, or fathers, different perspective? What do you think on that?
For me, I'm always an inside out type of person. So when people approach to me and they want to get to know me and ask me who am I,
Mm-hmm.
I basically tell them who I am from an internal standpoint. You know, I'm a person of service. You know, I care about people. I care about my influence and impact on others. So I lead with that first, and then we can get into the titles and the things that I've done and accomplished, or, you know, currently working on, things like that. I feel like those things are secondary, second to who you are innately.
You know, interesting about that? I found every connection I met
Yeah.
that create a real bond
Right.
is people that I never asked what they did
Really?
or where they went to school. The first impressions, getting to know them, is just talking and just getting to know who they are as who I see in front of me. Not the title, because what I found is we are quick to label individuals.
Right.
So the moment we hear, oh, who you are, or is this guy executive, or is this guy go to this school, or what does he do? There's a switch in time inside your brain be like, how should I treat this person?
Ooh.
Oh, you put them in this social ladder. Be like, okay, this person is who I want to associate with.
Right.
And then you start creating these image. What I found is, from my experience, whenever I meet a person, if I really, really want to get to know them, I tell myself, don't ask. Let me get to know you.
Right.
As I get to know you, I like your character, I like your belief, I like your mindset. And then from there on, if it comes occasionally, I'll figure out what you do eventually, if we get along.
I like
Right?
that.
Because if
I
we
like
don't get
that.
along, there's no point of knowing.
Right.
Might as well, right?
Absolutely.
Networking event in career, there might be different. You know, there are times where you don't get the opportunity to know people that quick, or to know people, have the time to really get to know a person.
Right.
In that sense, I can see where the labels helps it get to cut through a lot of unnecessary steps and be like, okay, this is what I do, especially in business.
Right.
But every day when you get to know somebody, that's how I like to approach it.
I like that, man. That's awesome. For the listeners out there, definitely some nuggets here that you can take and add to your own personal connections when you meet people, right? Get to know that person first before you start placing labels on them and asking them about the labels that they've even placed on themselves. See if you mesh and you connect on a deeper level, and then allow that opportunity for that relationship to start to blossom, right?
I'll add one more thing is I think at this point in life, we've met thousands of people already.
Yeah, seriously.
Right. Trust your instinct. I'll say trust your instinct.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
It's interesting, whether it's in business or just everyday individuals or friends, family, or just looking at photos. Over time, in the back of your mind, you start meeting, it develop a instinct within the first 5 minutes or first 15 minutes. Can't explain it. You suddenly feel like, oh, do I like this person? Or just something feels off. Something feels off. 9 out of 10 times, you're probably right. If it's a business negotiation or something with an individual, you see their face or something just suddenly feel off.
Right.
That is not... There's a sixth sense. This is how I think of it from a science standpoint, right? At every single moment, our brain get to interpret informations, right? We get to focus, and right now, unless I'm focusing on the fact that we're sitting, I don't really feel that I'm sitting. Or I can talk about, okay, you want to focus on our feet within our shoes. There's so many sensors that your brain collects.
Okay.
Without you knowing. And these sensors react so much faster, just like in sport. Sometimes you get to react, or when you drive a car, you drive so much that you don't even pay attention when a car brakes. You just brake automatically. You don't think about it. It's a muscle that just keep repeating and repeating. And same thing with when you see individual and you sense. That's your instinct that you train over time. If you ever meet individual, there's certain behavior, suddenly within first few minutes, and suddenly like, something doesn't feel right. That immediately, 9 out of 10, you're probably right. And especially in the world of business, that is why people say, oh, watch the way you talk or watch the way you eat. Some people can put a really good front, and that is to avoid individual of these senses and get to at least a second chance at the table. Or if a person feels that you're sincere, they might be able to talk to you. Or if you show up, show a different type of attitude, they register with behavior they've seen in the past, immediately you lose your chance. So give and takes is both a reminder of yourself of put your best self forward, and those who would like to work with you, and you attract them immediately, and you don't have to be fake. Right. I found that my senses has been guiding me very nice, and I've asked other individuals. There are many times where I made the mistakes of something fell off, but you know what? This is a good deal. Or something fell off, but you know what? I'm going to be nice. Continue, push it through. Eventually, the internal emotional stress or the burnout, problems start popping up, and I'm like, I should trust my senses.
You was getting those red flags, right? Yeah, man.
Have you ever felt that where you met an individual or you noticed some patterns, something was ticking, and then? Absolutely, man. I think that we all, as human beings, people of the earth, have these certain instincts within us to set off, certain triggers or alarms. And for me, the first word that popped into my mind was like discernment. Having true discernment in whether, you should move forward and deal with people in business or friendships or personal or whatever have you. And yeah, man, you spot on with that. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. And definitely, again, more nuggets for our viewers out there to, really ponder on and take heed and really, add to their own personal lives. Especially for a viewer, if this is helpful, is like, I remember I heard a saying that leave before the devil arrive. So if you're in a situations, sometimes your instinct telling you, be like, you know what, something doesn't feel right. It could be you're at a party or you're at an event or something's happening and your body's telling you, maybe I shouldn't do that. Or it shouldn't happen. That is another form of instinct. And you should really think about it, probably leave. Or listen to your gut and remove yourself from the situation. Because if you remove, it doesn't allow the opportunity for the things to happen at all. But if you have to be there, just also trust your gut as the things happen.
No, absolutely, man. That's true.
These are lessons that we learn throughout our life.
yeah, for sure, man. You dropping them jewels right now. I'm loving how this conversation is going. So let's dive in a little bit deeper on you personally, because I definitely want, those viewers out there to really understand who you are and how you develop that mindset, right? So let's take it back to your childhood. How were you like as a kid, and what experiences did you experience growing up that kind of helped shape who you are today?
Childhood. I'm gonna go way back. I'm gonna go at my life is in different stage. I'm gonna separate into before age of 10, after age of 10, and then university. I see them as different chapter.
Right.
When I was very young, I grew up in Hong Kong. This, for those who doesn't know, Hong Kong is part of China. It's a special economic zone, and it's an extreme fast-paced city. It's one of the most expensive city in the world, and my family, my father did a really good job of providing me with a nice childhood. I remember I was going to, at least from my perspective, he did
Right.
an amazing job.
Right.
Right. The main story, each parent have their own struggle, but from my perspective, I have an amazing childhood. He put me through academic, different classes, grew up going up to private school for elementary school and everything. So my parents showed me a lot of love, always. And at the age of 11, suddenly I got the news. My parents say, "Hey, we're gonna come to America."
Okay.
I said, "Okay." I didn't know what's going on. I
Right.
didn't know what's going on. Later on, I learned that my family was actually bankrupt. I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
So I came to the U.S. as a big shift. You know, as a kid, I was living in a skyscraper and I was looking out. I was like, "Oh, it's so fun." And then suddenly, I came to the U.S. and now I'm jumping from family to family, relative to relative, because I was able to come here under my aunt, but my parents couldn't stay in the U.S.
Oh,
due
really?
to immigration reasons.
Okay.
Right. And all of a sudden, I'm in a new city, a new country. I first arrived here in Vegas, actually.
Oh,
Was that
when you
Vegas?
first
It
came
was,
to America,
Canada
you
Road
came to
Middle
Vegas. Oh, wow.
Right. I remember first day of school, I didn't speak English at all. Not at all.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I remember the first PE class, the professor, the teacher, the coach asked me, "Do you play football?" And I heard, "Football? Yeah, of course, I've been playing football my whole life."
Right.
And they gave me American football. I was looking at that ball, I was clueless.
Right.
In my mind, I was thinking soccer.
Oh, okay. Soccer. Right. International, they call football soccer. Remember
I
that?
was like, "Oh yeah, of course I play football, right?" It was one hell of a journey, learning how to speak English and coming into it. And I started to get accustomed to Vegas. But then, half a year later, suddenly, things switched it.
Okay.
My father noticed that the way my aunt was raising me, this is something that I'll always be thankful for my father for making such a difficult decisions.
Right.
He doesn't have much, he couldn't provide much, but he showed me to stand up and be a man. And he made a decision of bringing me to Boston.
Okay.
And the condition was very different. When we went to Boston, we were living in a very small room around the size of this studio.
Okay.
And then there's one bed, and then my father was sleeping on the floor. I was sleeping on the twin bed. And every day, it just went from eating to suddenly eating one meal a day. And the situation, my life turned 180. I personally do not remember it as much.
Right.
I just remember I'm going through life, and this is just what life is, and it's going through. I go to school,
Right.
and I was able to watch my father experience of what difficulty in life does to a man.
Mm.
Someone when I was a kid who's so all high and mighty and just winning in life, and all of a sudden 180 his life flipped upside down. And I watch what it mean when a man lose hope. I think that was the beginning of my personality starting to change a bit, where
Right.
I noticed that I never said it to him, but I noticed that I must figure it out on my own,
Mm.
because my father did everything he can for me, but I also noticed he's going through a very difficult phase in his life,
Right.
and there might be a chance he won't be able to stand back up. And during that time, and then after I finished middle school, we got kicked out of the relative house, and then, of course, not their fault. They're very
Right.
kind to take us in already.
No, absolutely.
And then we were able to find a little apartment, also a tiny little studio. We both get in there, no bed. There was not. I remember my first bed that I got was when I went to undergrad.
Okay.
That's when I got a bed. In high school, I just knew that I didn't know what I was doing, but I know I gotta get A's.
Right.
Keep in mind, actually, roll back a bit. I might be going too long in terms of asking me my background. But
No, absolutely, man. We
When I was,
definitely we here.
in Hong Kong, terrible grade. I was the last of the class.
Oh yeah.
I came to the U.S. I don't know what happened, but in middle school something switched it. I was getting C and C and C, but all of a sudden I think I don't quite remember the exact moment, but I think internally the 13-year-old self, the 12-year-old me, knew that no one's coming to save me. And suddenly I start paying attention to grade. At this point, my parents didn't care about what grade I got anymore. And I just start getting A's. And I said to myself, I don't know, but ever since a kid, I heard that education changed life. So I just told myself, I got to get A's.
Education changed life.
And I
Who-
just keep getting A's.
Who was that voice for you that would push that helped you to understand that? Or was that just something that you just caught on to, like,
in
education changed lives?
Asia, in China, especially in China culture, parents always push their kid to go to school. Like in Hong Kong, I would go to school. After school, I'll go to tutoring class all the way until 9 p.m. Otherwise, secondary. So everybody's like fighting constantly for education. I didn't like it. I was like, I'm so tired of it.
Burnt out, right?
Study, et cetera, right? But in my life, always keep hearing this phrase because the whole culture is you got to go to school.
Right.
You got to study. You got to get a better degree. That's how you're going to get money. It's going to get fame. The whole reason behind it is because China went through 200 to 300 years of bad luck and people were just very poor.
Okay.
So the only way the understanding is if you go on and get educations, you can change your life. And I think that culture is embedded in a lot of Asian. So you can see in every Asian culture, it's like, you got to be a doctor. You got to be an engineer. You got to be up
they
there.
have like certain...
Same with me. Like I played the piano and my parents wanted me to be a doctor. But as I was starting to do in high school, I made it my mission. Not with anyone else. Suddenly, a click switched it.
Right.
I think it was because that was the only thing that I knew I can do. And I have to do it. So I say I'm going to put everything in school. And I looked at school as almost like a game. It wasn't as almost like how can I get the best possible grade? Where I look at, okay, my English is my fourth language. It's not too well, so let me take just the regular class, CP1. Right. But then I realized I'm good at science, good at math. Let me take honor, AP classes, potentially push that extreme. To trying to play the game. And at that point, junior year, when the SAT come around, for my high school teacher, I'm about to say, I'm sorry about this. I remember I was getting an SAT ticket. You know, when you have free school lunch in the US. You get to take SAT for free. They give you this ticket. They get 3 or 4 tickets, right? You're supposed to get like 2 each. I'll go to a different guidance counselor and I say, yo, can you give me a ticket? And I turn around and start selling the ticket to the other kid. And then suddenly, I took my SAT exam. And I'm like, oh, the grade wasn't so nice. At that point, I'm like, I got 1 question wrong in math, but my English score wasn't too nice. And I told myself, like, you know what? Maybe I should go to community college. You know what? Because I started looking at the cost of college in the United States.
Right.
Private school, $70K a year with expense.
Right.
Even if public school, $20K, $30K.
Expensive.
Me and my father, we're trying to survive off 1 meal a day.
Right.
And I don't even know how I'm going to do it. If I'm going to get in a loan, I think that was the second awakening of when I started thinking about money. When I got hit with the reality of how much university going to cost.
Right.
But then at the same time, I have this one friend, Jacob. He came in and said, Andy, write your college essay. Apply to these schools. You know, you can get a scholarship. Like, you're fine. I didn't know about that.
Okay.
I think one of your podcast messages told me that you want to help others who... There were conversations you wish you had.
Right.
Right. With other have you. I think that was one of the conversations. No one ever told me about how to go through the school systems.
Right.
And their scholarship, how much important you take the SAT, how you should prepare yourself to apply to college, how to fix up your resume. No one. There's an information gap. So most of us just go to school, be like, okay, and then suddenly junior year they tell you, oh, you should apply. But by that time it's too late.
Right.
I got lucky, very fortunate, due to I suddenly started caring about the grade and start calculating, and I just somehow stumbled upon the thing that the system want. If you want to go to a university.
Right. Right.
And then my friend came in, it's like, there's scholarships. And I was like, what do you mean scholarship? Like, what does that mean? He's like,
Right.
oh, private school give out full ride scholarship if you need financial aid. So I take a look into that, and I said, okay, sure. And I said, but still, I didn't know, but I think I had so much anger as a kid at that point in time. I speak very differently. I behave very differently. I have so much anger that I'm like, how am I going to pay for that? I know this private school, blah, 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 but $80,000 a year, I'm not listening. But he was forcing me, Hendy, write the essay. He grabbed me, opened up Common App, which is the application to apply to school, and he filled it out, my information, and we worked together after school, and I sent apply.
Right.
And I applied to Boston University. Actually, I diverged a bit. Maybe one day, my mother also gonna come across and watch this video. There's something about Boston University that was unique is I wasn't living with my mother at that period of time. A lot of time is you hear I just talk about my father. My mother was away from me from the age of 11
Okay.
all the way up to basically 18.
Right.
So she missed a very important part of year of my life, and she looked at me. She missed me. She wanted to talk to me on the phone, give her a call once in a while, and over time, I forgot that I had a mother.
Wow.
Right? I would look at the picture. I remember looking at the picture of my mom and be like, "That's my mom."
Right.
I know that.
I got a mother, but
Right. I haven't seen her in too much, but I still remember the love she gave me when I was a kid. So
Right.
there's a connection there. But I was looking, it felt foreign, right? So suddenly one summer, she able to get her visa and come visit in the U.S. And then she visited Boston. I'm going to school. Our family, we don't have a car. I'm going to school, and then she's doing her tour in the Boston area. And then for those familiar with Boston, there's Charles River, and then they'll go for the university tour. She went to Harvard, MIT, et cetera, et cetera. This is
Nice.
the little Boston Common tour, right? And I went to meet her in Boston. I took the train, went to Boston and meet her. She never went to visit BU, but she was in the car. My mother is very spiritual. I swear she must have a great past life with the spirit, God, something is watching over her. Because she always have this feeling. She's just so kind to a point sometimes you think it's naive from my perspective.
Right.
But she's just such a kind and wonderful person that you ask her if she can help, she'll help. Every homeless person she passed along, she have to give some money. She's
really
one of the most
service-driven woman.
sweetest kindness. She taught me kindness.
Lead
and
with the
respect.
heart, right?
From the heart, ever since young age. And then we're at the car, passing by. Imagine there's this bridge called Mass Pike.
Okay.
And then Boston University is right here, and you're just going to pass by the car. She looked out the window, she turned to her left. I always remember this. She say, "Son, what is this school?" I say, "Boston University." I was a grumpy kid. I was, ooh.
Your little attitude, huh?
I have an attitude.
Yeah.
And then she looked out the window. She said, "I like this school. I feel it. Apply to this." I'm like, "Woman, what are you talking about? Boston University, this school is more expensive. Actually, the most expensive school around this area. It's like 80K, 75 to 80K a year. What are you talking about, woman?"
Right.
I got so mad. I'll never forget this. It's the only time ever I swear to her.
Wow.
I remember it was the only time ever I called her the B word.
Oh, wow.
I looked at her and was like, I said the B word. I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, are you stupid? Like, it's rough on my hands. Who's going to pay for it? You don't have the money. I don't have the money. What is
Right,
wrong?" And I
right.
threw a fit. Right? Of course, she was hurt. But she just grabbed me and she said, "Apply to the school. Just apply. I have a very strong feeling about this school. It's like, I want you to go to this. I don't care about all the other one. This one." I was angry. So I said, "You know what? My friend Jacob came help me fill the application. I should probably apply to it."
Right.
I applied to a community college because that's what I want to do. $2,000 a year, $4,000. I can handle that. I can get a part-time job, have that figured out. But then all of a sudden, you know what? I'm going to apply to Boston University. Filled the application, yada, yada, yada. I hit apply, sent. I apply with the intention of to get rejected, just so I can tell her,
Right.
you see how dumb you are?
Right. This
You
is
see
a
how
bad
I'm
idea.
right? Right? Just so, and send it. And there's other school I could apply to, blah, 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 blah. I didn't apply to almost any other school. Just community college and then Boston University.
Wow.
Just for the sake. Because I'm like, I'm not going to go and get in anywhere.
right.
My friend, he told me to apply to Harvard, apply, etc., different decision, yada, yada, yada. I said, you know what? No. Right? November, decisions. And then up November 1st, I sent applications. That was the deadline. And then in January, I suddenly received a package. Because at this time, my house was receiving a bunch of college university flyer.
Right.
Stacks
Like
of
advertisements
bags and bags, right?
Right.
I won't look at it. And actually, in reverse. After I applied to BU, I remember afterward I started applying to other little college. I'm like,
Right.
okay, I'm gonna apply to this one, just in case, because my mind started to click then. But at the moment I applied to BU, I was like, just community college, and just BU. January, I got a package from BU. Okay, and what is this? I take a look at it. Rip it open. I take a look at it. I start reading. Congratulations. Congratulations. In my mind, I'm like, God damn it.
Right.
Congratulations. And I did early decisions. That mean I gotta go to the school. Early decision just mean if that school accept you, you can't go to any other school.
Oh,
so
really?
in my mind, I'm thinking about how I'm gonna reject this to go to community college. How I'm gonna pay for it. Blah blah blah. I'm looking at it.
And why would you reject going to Boston U to a
I
community
can't
college?
pay for it, right? I thought to myself,
Right.
oh, I don't want to get into debt. This is the time when I start learning about money and start figuring it out. I think I was around 16. And it's like, I can't go into debt. I don't want to have student loan, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ruin my life just by trying to go to university. And I took a look. I flipped both in the pamphlet. I was angry. I was like, damn it. Other people would be joyous. I know I have a friend who really want to go. They're jumping up and down. They would see it. But then I was grumpy. I'm like, I threw it down. I didn't look at the package. I didn't look at it. I sat there. And then my father came home. Bing. He didn't know. At this whole progress, he didn't even know about applying college or nothing. He just sat there.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I got an email also from my high school email. I opened it. Let me check the package again. This is my login. Put it on a website. Let's see how much I got to pay. Go to the payment tab. Scholarships, grant, numbers, $72,000. I'm like, total amount, 300. I said, what does that mean? 72,300. Does that? And I take a look again. It was a full ride scholarships.
Full ride scholarship.
Food, dorms, school, stipend, everything paid for. The only thing I gotta pay was a $300 application fee, acceptance fee.
What?
I saw it. I remember. It wasn't joy. It's such a strange feeling because I wasn't like, I jumping up and down. I still remember I was at the ground in bed. I do my homework, everything on top of a bed, just right on the floor.
Right.
I was laying down on the floor. I look at it, read it. I felt confused.
I would feel confused too. How did this happen? I'm curious.
I felt a bit of sadness and regret.
Sad.
Because it came back to my mind what I said to my mother.
Right.
That came in. That was the first thing I felt.
When you disrespected your mom, right?
Right. And I don't think I ever told her. I told her these stories later on many different times, right? But at that moment, I don't think I ever called her and say sorry at that current age and time. It was later on that I said it. And I remember telling my father, I was like, hey, Yannick Cross. Looks like I'm going to university. He say, He looked at it. I said, I got 4 right. He say, silence. He's going through a difficult time in his life too. I think at that stage, we're both very confused on what's going on. And I think I gotta say thank you for my mother. I gotta say thank you to Jacob and every teacher that helped me in high school, because that was a second turning point in my life.
Right.
It was throughout high school, this kid was just resentful. But I hid it inside so much to the point that I never let it out. So, but I know I just gotta go to school. But I was just confused going back and forth. I didn't know how I'm gonna go out, how everything gonna work out.
Right.
When that happened, it was a wake-up call both for myself and my father. I think he noticed that my son is going to university. He went to university too. He did the whole thing. He was very successful at one point. That I remember he started picking himself back up because things have changed.
Right.
I didn't know at that time, but my life will forever change going to university. And at that point, this is funny. I remember I went to BU. It was a culture shock. Let's say the water bottle, right? People just leave their phone and leave their computer there. I'm looking at it like, y'all leave your phone here? Nobody gonna steal it? Like, what's going on?
Right.
Like in my high school, like I put it down, 2-3
missing.
seconds, it's gone. And I'm like, everybody's so nice. I have to relearn how I talk, Well, nowadays people call it code switch. And I just relearn to teach myself how to swear less, how to talk more polite, be more mannered, come back in, to just calm myself down and then truly understand the situation. And at that point, I was a kid with ambitions, right? But there's a big but. Looking back, that's the second phase. It got me where I am. But over time, also changed. I got this ambition of I want to be a millionaire.
Okay.
This is something that I left out in the story in high school. I don't know what it is, but I always tell myself I want to be a millionaire. I want to have so much money in the world. I just want money, money, money. Everything's about money.
Right.
I want money. That's it. I say I'm not going to go to college, but I was at that point. I think that's around e-commerce. I mean, people that would do e-com drop shipping. That's the beginning of it.
Right.
I was watching YouTube video, learning about money, getting everything possible. Student loan is bad, blah, 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 trying to figure out my situations.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm just going to make money. I'm going to figure this out.
So I just want to ask you, what made you come to that conclusion that you wanted to be a millionaire? Maybe it was something that took place in your life, or just maybe the situation you was going through with you and your father.
I'll be honest. We were broke.
Right.
I mean, it was to the point where I have to count myself $3 a day, right? So in Chinese New Year, you get this little red pocket. I'll count how much money I have on a spread, and I know that I didn't know how to apply for a free school lunch until high school. So middle school, I have to pay for the school lunch. Right. So I'll have to go start sell gums. I'll count out how many little money I have, and et cetera, et cetera. I look at the money, and I'll be like, okay, $3 today, $3 today. I'm missing about 20 days. That means I can't eat every single day at school. I gotta skip out here and there. And then later on I learned if I go to CVS, and at that time, before inflation hit, $1 cookie special. $1 you get to a pack of 8 oatmeal cookies. Okay. I can know that I can sell in school for $1 each to other kid in order just to eat. Right. So it was constant survival mode. Because when you're in survival mode, the only thing I know is money. Money was all. Money was all.
Yeah,
money was all.
It's always about the money, right?
So everything in my life is about the money. Everything. And it becomes such a big part of my life that I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even interested in relationships until I got to age 17. Super, super late bloomer when understanding relationship. Because every single day my mind was, I got to go to school. I got to figure out how to get money. I got to figure out what I'm going to eat next.
The money.
Do we have any meals to pay for the rent? Do we have any money to pay for the rent? Is there enough money for grocery this week? It was to the point I was, when we met, I was telling you about an eating problem that I have. Right. I got into such a good habit of not eating, spending a long time not eating. I was very thin. You can see my rib and everything when I was in my high school. Super weak compared to the other kid. I trying to go lift weight. I trying to push. I couldn't figure out why. Why can't I do? I can't never even get stronger.
Not eating,
and I was about 5'5".
Right.
At the age of 17. Very tiny. And then when I went to university, You got that free meal. I start going in. I'm like, yo, 5 meals a day. Go in cafeteria, and suddenly I start getting taller and taller. I was looking at the ladies and be like, yo, listen, you see me now, but you know I'm gonna be taller than you later.
So what, they gave you that? They gave you that university meal plan card.
Exactly, unlimited, and I just keep eating, and that's when I start growing taller and taller. My mother still make the joke. She's like, if you have proper nutrition, maybe you're able to get taller. And I always tell her I'm happy with where I am. I'm happy with where I am. And then over time, but to answer your question, yeah, that was what caused me to always want money. And everything in my mind was just calculating money. And that's what got me to thinking about business major.
Right.
Because in high school, when they asked me what I want to do, I'll write neurosurgeon. Why neurosurgeon? Because neurosurgeons, after you come out, you make about $500,000 a year.
They make the money.
You're making money. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick the most expensive profession. And my parents always say, want me to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. And so I look and I'm like, wait a minute. The math don't add up. You get scholarships, right? The scholarship I tell you about, it works for undergrad, but it doesn't work for medical school or grad school.
Ooh.
And that's different. And I start counting the debt that I have. And then afterward, I'm going to be 36 when I come up. If I take the specifically neurosurgeon,
right,
specialized,
long road,
4-year medical school, residency, and specialized another 4-year on top of that, I'm like, do I want to be 36, then start making my money? Then I look into business. I'm like, you know what? This money game and the way I understand, if I want to talk about money so much, let me understand how money works.
Right.
And that's the mindset starts shifting. And that's when I start looking into other form of businesses. There's so many other strategy if the goal was to make money in life.
The money.
Rather than specifically just to work.
Right.
Or just be a doctor. That's not the only route. But if you do enjoy the medical route, if you do enjoy that and that's your passion, congratulations. Your career in this day and age also come with a good amount of money and lifestyle. But that's not everybody.
I like how you put that though. If you have a passion for that, right? And you're able to spend that time, because it's going to take a significant amount of time. So not to cut you off, but I like how you mentioned that.
Because university changed it over time. I think back then, when I was a kid, I always thought university like Harry Potter. College university, Harry Potter, Oxford University, Cambridge. You hear about it in Hong Kong because it used to be a British colony. Okay. So everybody hear about Oxford, Cambridge, and they're excited to go to university. And then the mind is you go to university to learn, to explore the limitation of humanity, to explore science. The goal here is to push the boundary of what is possible for human and explore the unseen in the universe. Right. That is an exciting thing to do. Just like Explorer back in the day. That's what going to school, education is like. It's almost fun. When you like a subject, every new piece of information you learn is like, oh, I didn't know about this. I'm going to learn more about this, right? Oh, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to get that goal? You have the goal in mind and you start putting the puzzle together. But then when I went to university, I noticed that, you know what the first thing I look at when I went to school? How much does my degree going to pay? I saw on average, a business major, or the average college grad at BU, about $45,000, $46,000 a year. I was like, hold on a minute. Right. University, I come out 46. I thought that was the answer. Before university, high school, study. That was the answer. Right. I get to school. That's what they promise you. The moment you get to school, you're set. Right. You're all set. You get that education. You everything taken care of. You're good. But I'm looking at 46. So I don't eat. I don't drink. I don't even use the bathroom. I can't even pay back my loan for 1 year. I'm like, hold on a second. So I look at some of these kids. Right. I'm like, yo, you sure you want to do this art major? You sure you want to do communications? It costs a lot for that major. Is your parents paying you? And they tell me they got a loan. I'm like, ooh, it's coming for you. I'm like, it's coming for you, buddy. Yeah. Because $46K, that average living is well. But if you want a house, on top of paying back a loan, a mortgage, a car, once all those numbers add up, what you got left? Exactly. That's when I realized, this degree thing, I got to be smart in picking my major. Right. And I think a lot of students also realize this. So people start going to school, not for learning, But to pick the subject that pay the most, people start going to engineering, despite they don't like it.
Right.
But despite they don't hate it, like, what pay the most? Oh, business, I'm going to business. Oh, finance, physical. I'm just go what pay the most. And then once you go into what pay the most, you tough it out, then you get the job, but now you're locked in the cycle. Now you pay the loan, and now you repeat this life, mortgage, kid, responsibility come up, and you're always working. And most of the time, people don't even realize what they really want to do or the freedom they had until they reach retirement.
Right.
Once all the responsibility, everything finally pay off, then now for the first time in their life, they're thinking, they're like, oh, everything is done. My kid is in school, I done my job.
Right.
What now? And then this midlife crisis, everything just hit at the same time. And it's like, oh, do I really like what I'm doing? What is going on? My life, my relationships. Right. And I noticed a lot of the C started early. People may think the decision of just picking a major in high school, picking university, the way our current system works is your decision that you're making at 17, 18, 16 that nobody tell you about, almost, if you follow it, can dictate what happened when you're 65, 67.
Major impact.
Right.
And that's scary. Yeah.
So with that, I'm like, oh, I start getting more clarity and I just got to figure out what I want to do. And I said, you know what? Med school, I was doing my pre-med 2 years in. And I'm like, let me pause this. I'm not going to med school. I had fun. I enjoyed it. I really liked the biology and physics. I really liked it. But I also noticed that I'm not in a position where sometimes they're also the reality part of life. Right. I can do this, but the reality is, I come in scholarships. So after this, I got to start working, and I better have something that's able to pay for the bills. Right. And that's what I thought. And I said, okay, let me learn about money. If I'm going to do this, at least I'll go to a major that teach me more about how the money system works.
The money.
And that's where I went wrong the second time. Business school, you guys probably heard it over the internet, doesn't necessarily teach you a lot about money. Unless you take finance. If you focus, I took finance, a lot of finance classes, and put my concentration in finance. It gives you a concept and an idea of how money works. Right. You become more financially literate and things getting better. But it won't teach you how to survive and build something for yourself that over time allow you to be you. Right. Because you come out, let's say you go to business major, people pick marketing, strategy, they're going to consultant. Now they're getting paid $150K come out of college, or $110K, or $80K, let's just $80K, right? Depending on what type of school you went to. Right. Because for those who are listening, Fortune 30 only hire from specific school. There's only 16 or 18 of them on the list. Right. And people will be like, oh, I make so much in business, finance. Well, Goldman Sachs, majority get their student, UPenn, Harvard, Ivy League school. It's like they get paid the bills, but most individual aren't. And that's like 20,000 people every single year. Wow. Right? I didn't know that, man. So it sounds cool. They selective with which schools they choose to come right out of college to get paid that amount. That's why the university you choose also matter. And going into it, I noticed that, the school will teach you how to work. Always. It's great. Absolutely. For those of you, I'm not telling you to not go to school at all. Right. If what you like, sometimes some of your major does require educations. Absolutely. And it's very important. And I'll tell you how exactly. I think in the United States, if you need financial aid or you notice you have children and you need financial aid, there is a golden ticket opportunity that you can take advantage of. If you're able to help your kid get the best grade possible for high school. You can plan it with them. You don't have to force them to take the most extreme class, but make sure they get above average, a good GPA, right? Play with the system, play the game. Help them get the scholarships. At Harvard, if you make under 200K, full ride scholarship, you'll be able to get it. And a lot of these private universities give you full ride if you fit the merit base. Okay. All right. So play the game, get your kid in there. Here's one thing I knew and I learned when I went to university was by going to a higher university, in that environment, everybody is the same, students. But the social class where individual come from is different. So the higher you go, the more likely individual from around the world private equity sons or individual political leaders' childs, right?
Right.
You get a chance
right.
to meet them. It changed your circles. The idea of if you change your circle, it changed your life.
Absolutely.
That happened. And this university is one of the main opportunity for someone to come in extremely low to suddenly get to interact with these individuals. Now, what you get out of it is up to you. If you just come in and you just go to class and you come out, sure, you're just going to work. You'll be working for them.
Right.
Like, seriously. And it's not fair. They have everything lined up. They come to school. I remember I would meet a couple of classmates and we later became friends. I asked him, why did he come to school? I'm like, he makes $1.5 million salary working for his parents' firm.
Wow.
His parents gave him a department. And I don't understand because I came in here to make money. That's why I came to university. You already have money.
Get
Why
the
are
money.
you here?
Right. Right.
Hey, look at Mr. Andy. Andy, I need the name. I need the name to put on the company website, that piece of paper, give me more credibility, and something for my parents to say.
Strategy.
And I noticed, hold on a second. I'm over here busting my ass off to get a better job. You come here and talk about you just need the name.
I need the name.
And I started looking at university. I'm looking at him. And I said, he invited a billionaire to our school for interview due to his family connection.
Right.
And I started looking at all the professors that are all up and mighty and suddenly start shaking his hand and talking to him. I'm like, they're level to this. I started looking at myself. I'm like, there's different reasons people come to university.
Right.
Now you got to strategize and think of, why am I here at the university?
Right.
What am I trying to get out of here?
Right.
And for those, if you're able to get your child in and you're able to help your children understand what they can get out of it, the connection, change your worldview. That is a 4 very special years of moment where don't spend your time partying and going to different here. Make connection where it shifts your mind. You get to see point of view from your classmate who have been born and grew up in a complete different environment.
Right.
They think the world differently. Because a lot of us, job is the end game. I got to work. I got to get a good job. I got to provide. And then maybe around 30, 40s, you start learning more about finance and then you start investing. Your 401k, things start coming in, right? For them, I met so many students and my friend that are studying for fun. I'll tell you what happened. Like at these prestige university, when you look at the art majors, when you look at the major that doesn't necessarily make money, the study of rock, the geology, and you're like, what is this? How are you going to get a job? They're here for fun.
Right.
You and them is different.
Right.
You need the job to survive.
Right.
They cannot work for years. Actually, they don't have to work for their whole life and they'll still be good.
Right.
They are studying for fun because they enjoy that topic. And sometimes the reality is, unless you're really, really, really good at what you do, you might not get the luxury of just studying for fun because you got to balance reality with your interests.
Right.
But if you understand it, I think we live in a world where it's never easier to turn your interests into something profitable.
Yeah.
Whether you can use social media is a big things that allow everybody create a more equal ground for individuals who never went to school, but suddenly they will create a lot of different form of income. Just free time for them to just do what they enjoy rather than chasing in this rabbit hole of I gotta go to work, I gotta pay the mortgage, I gotta pay the bill. You've seen the previous generation done it. We have a chance to break the cycle also.
Right.
And I myself also fell into that trap for a while of trying to think of it's all about money. It's all about money. It's all about money. And once I understand there's level to this, I think about money even more. Because I'm like, the degree going to come out, I'll be making, let's see, a worst case scenario. I start calculating. Let's say I made 85K. Let's say I made 100K a year. What am I going to do? And I said, okay, I'm about to graduate. And this is a sidetrack. I'm going to talk about just the school experience. I'm not talking about my entrepreneurial experience.
Right.
Because I was doing something on the side also that have helped me become where I am today. But I'm talking about just from a school perspective. As I'm graduate, I'm a bit scared. I'm going to graduate. This 4-year vacation is about to come to an end. I've done a lot, but not enough.
Right.
I'm not a millionaire yet. I say, I want to get there. How am I going to do it? So I study and I apply for Master in Mechanical Engineering.
Okay.
With my scholarship, I took AP classes. With AP classes, you get to deduct course you take from university. So the more AP classes you take in high school, the less course, the faster you finish college.
Right. Because those credits transfer over.
Exactly.
Okay.
But because I did a scholarship, I must finish the 4 year. So I got a whole year open up. And I said, what's the highest paying degree there is? And something I'm remotely interested in. And I said, you know what, I want to get into aerospace engineering. Be mindful, I'm a business major at this point, 3 year in business.
Right.
And I said, I got to learn math from scratch. And I only have one semester to do it. Because I thought to myself, I started calculating, okay, master and engineer, then I got to pay. I say, okay, aerospace engineering come out, they make about a good one, $260K a year. I thought, oh, not bad, 260. I was like, okay, that sounds pretty nice to me, okay. And then, if I look at the tuition, okay, no scholarships. 2 years, that's 160K. Okay, I don't like that idea. I don't like getting debt. With the knowledge I have about money, I really don't like the idea.
Really don't like
How can
that.
I cut it down? I say, if I can do 1 year of all the master class in my undergrad and get it transferred, maybe I can get away with 2 years.
Right.
So I'm like, all right. So I look at the course. I go to my guidance counselor and say, I want to take Calc 1.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Push Podcast. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights to help you on your journey. If you enjoyed the conversation, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media for more updates. Remember, every step forward counts, so keep pushing forward. See you next time.